Welcome to a brand new, spanking brand new, comes out this Friday, horror thriller. Meow. A better
Meow.
movie than Cats.
Which Idris Elba was also in.
Oh my god. He's all about the pussycat. Oh my god. And they're gonna do the Cat in the Hat remake, I heard, coming up at some point. And I'm like, yes, Idris Elba should be cast as the Cat in the Hat. He just goes there and tells those kids to clean the fucking house up. Anyway, we're gonna talk about Beast, which is Idris Elba's movie, and he's pretty much the star of this film, which is great. Honestly, I would never probably have seen this movie if it was anyone else except for Idris Elba. He's a great actor. I love him in a lot of stuff. I don't know if Katie has ever seen Ultraviolet, where he played a vampire in one of his first roles ever. Good show, but that's how I discovered him. I didn't discover him in the Wire until many years later because I skipped the Wire when it was on TV, but Lockdown, whoo, I got really acquainted with The Wire, doing nothing all day except for watching The Wire and going, ooh, Idris Elba's a badass drug lord that you kind of love. Um, but this is Beast, Universal thriller, so add it to the Universal pantheon of horror movies. They can make a giant killer cat movie, but they can't get that dark universe going. But they're again, it adds to their library of horror movies, which is fantastic. I always love seeing the Universal logo attached to a horror movie, just because it basically puts it into that family. So the Beast joins Dracula, Wolfman, Frankenstein with the other Universal monsters, because it itself is kind of a monster.
It is true. Yes. Beast, directed by Balthazar Gormaker. I apologize. I probably butchered that name. Written by Ryan Engel and Jamie Primack Sullivan. Stars Idris Elba, Sharlto Copley, Yana Halley, and Leah Jeffries. This film is filled with tension and darkness from the very beginning. I will tell you this. Do not, whatever I can stress, do not miss the first 50 seconds of the film, because that right there, honestly, I was first after the first 5 seconds, I'm rooting for the lion. I'm rooting for the lion. I then kind of ease up, but believe me, you need to be there for that opening scene. Idris Elba plays Dr. Nate Samuels, who goes to Africa with his two daughters. It's a bit of tension there. You don't know why. I just figure they're asshole teenagers. You find out their mother has died, and when she died, they were separated, and she died of cancer, and he's a doctor. Dun dun dun. Lot of dysfunction. The movie goes on to, they're visiting her hometown in Africa. Sharlto Copley plays he's an anti-poacher who is like a game warden somewhat of animals that are in this area, just making sure they're safe. And he knew the girl's mother when they were children, and then he actually introduced Idris Elba to their mother. Lot of good backstory going on. It doesn't take away from the actual movie with the lion. And I have to say, again, watch the first part, because that's a lot. And I really wish the poster that Chris has behind him, I think that is a much better poster and would get more people to go to see the movie than the one with the lion and him fighting. Because when I told people that I honestly enjoyed this movie, and I really did. I mean, it's tense. It's got a decent storyline, great acting by everyone involved. Like, one of my favorite lines is, I have a rainbow of emotions, as do I, for this film. The acting's fantastic. The music is superb by Stephen Price. I mean, you keep that tension going. And when you finally do, the lion is attacking and doing all this stuff, like they made the lions look very realistic in the fact with their movements. You can definitely tell whoever's doing the CGI, they were watching lions in Pride. If you've seen like the movie Roar, where people who have like raised cubs from infants to them becoming adults, it's very realistic when you see their movement and the interactions with the humans. Some of that CGI isn't so great. A lot of it is. There's some dreamscapes that I think are very effective. Idris Elba's character is great, and I love the fact that they had his character be a doctor, because in these situations where everybody is apologies losing their shit, with his medical experience, he's able, it's like, okay, breathe, we need to do this, make sure you wash your hands, like infection can spread like this, let's go here, let's do that. That I think is a brilliant aspect to make him a doctor, so you have these situations, you don't have multiple people just freaking the f out. The lion, you know, with a number of these things was scary. People may not think this is realistic. However, there was another film that they made in the late 80s, early 90s called Ghost in the Darkness, where you had two lions that were killing miners in Africa that were taking over their territory. So this is something that could happen. And with you know, what happens in the beginning, it's like the theme of the film is fight for family. That is true for both animal and human. Is this a 10 for me? No. There's a few things. Like, look, I'm not gonna let it off the hook. There's a few things. People get cut, people get bit. Honestly, there's a number of scenes where people are wounded. I feel like when I cut my legs in the shower, there's more blood that I see there than they had regarding people who just got sliced with a paw from a giant tiger. I don't know if they're trying to make it more family friendly, whatever. It wasn't that big a deal, because I mean, you know, there are a number of people who do get wounded and they have to take care of them. But the other aspect of that is that they had a limited water supply. So this is one thing I learned from a little film called Cujo, where it was very, very hot where they were in Cujo. Let's take this heat that's in the Africa plains, turn that up to probably like 120. I think that water would have been gone within 2 hours of the characters like sitting in a hot car. Yes, there's a window open. Thank you. But I mean, one, this is dumb, but it's like, you're not going anywhere. You honestly could have turned on the AC. I mean, the car's not going anywhere. I don't see why that couldn't have been. I don't know if maybe the engine, I forget if the engine wasn't working or not. I knew they couldn't drive for a bit, but I can't remember the engine. But yeah, see that. The other thing with the water thing is, again, from Cujo. Thank you so much for helping with this. People have to pee. You're stuck in a car and no one is going to the bathroom. Like, this is a dumb thing to think about, but let's be realistic. You're gonna be dehydrated, you gotta pee. That's gotta happen.
Have you ever watched 24? Jack Bauer
what?
never, that always the biggest complaint of the TV series of 24 was like, when does Jack Bauer ever pee?
I mean, you gotta, I mean, I know you're scared and stuff, but also it's like scared, dehydrated, I mean, you're gonna have to pee. And I mean, there's like 24 hours where they're like, or almost 24 hours, so there's a good amount of time where they are stuck in that car because there's a man killing a slightly eating lion on the loose. What was the other thing? Amount of blood, yeah, the Africa heat, someone's got to pee, all that stuff. But just words to the wise, there's a number of triggers in this film. It talks about poaching, anti-poaching, divorce, desertion, cancer, and the death of a parent. It just, be wary of that. I'm not necessarily spoiling the film, but you know, want to make sure people are aware, because a lot of that stuff, I mean, Idris Elba, it's, you know, he's no joke. He gets real. And Sharlto Copley, honestly, I wish they would do a buddy movie. I thought their chemistry together was fantastic. One of my favorite performances from Sharlto, and yes, I want to have his baby. But yeah, I thought this was a fantastic. I actually liked it. You should go see this this weekend and see it at the theater. It's a wild ride. I love the actresses. I loved you know, Idris. It could be unrealistic at the end, the way some of the stuff happened, because it's like, come on. It got a little much, which it's like you could have sped that up a bit. But I think that this is, yeah, the wild ride we need to end the summer. And I say go see it.
There was a movie that came out in 2010. It's for the life of me now killing me. What the name it was. Did you see this movie about a girl taking care of her autistic brother, and the uncle they're living with is like, well, if I murder my niece and nephew, I can inherit all the money. So I'm gonna let the tiger I bought loose in the house during a hurricane because everything's always during a hurricane, like the Sam Raimi alligator movie Crawl. And they survive, and then somebody gets their comeuppance. What was the name of that movie?
I don't remember the name. I think Garrett Dillahunt was in it. So
Yeah,
if you look him up, I
was it
think he played the uncle. If you look him up, it would be but yeah, I remember that because I think they had like a carnival or something or some
Yeah,
sort of thing. And
they had like the Tiger King thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And either the mom recently died or something, she was sick. And yeah, if he kills the niece and nephew, then he gets all the stuff, but he can't necessarily kill them.
Yeah,
But
it was like 12 years ago it came out. I was dating a woman who had an autistic son, and she pulled that movie and be like, "We should watch this." I was like, "Sure." And she's just like, "Oh, nobody who knows anything about autistic children wrote this movie." I was like, "Okay." But this movie was really good. Idris Elba is fantastic in it. Shiloh Copley, God, I haven't seen him in anything in a long time. But he is pretty good at it. Everyone else is pretty much like new stuff or whatever. There's only really like there's two other major characters and one insanely minor character, unless you count the lion himself. Also, Christian the Lion came to mind because there's a great scene where somebody, has the lions come to him and they're all like, "Oh, cuddly, mommy's here, daddy's here." Whatever we call our surrogate parent that's not even part of our species. Reminds me of a Good Morning America episode where these two guys were reunited with the lion they raised since it was a cub and put it back in the wilderness, and the thing came bounding on stage and tackles these two, and everyone's like like they're about to see a massacre, and the lion is just you know what I mean? It is a big cat. Lions are not small animals, but I've seen more than one National Geographic video to see lions raised by humans can be not domesticated, but they imprint very easily. So, but
yes.
this was uh, whatever CGI was in the movie. I really wasn't like, all right, is that framing correctly? It looked
Yeah.
fine. A lot of it was in the dark too, or it was really dirty, so it covered up any mistakes they made. And I couldn't really tell. I don't know who the CGI special effects company is. It's Universal's not known for putting out botched, crappy films, even if the script is terrible. So, um, the Mummy notwithstanding, but the or the Mummy Returns. This was really good. It's popcorn fare film. I don't know if it's gonna light up the box office or not, but it's definitely worth seeing in the theaters. I don't know if it's streaming or not if you're not going to theaters yet. So definitely check it out. It's pretty good. The Ghost in the Darkness. It does have that does ring up my bell as well with Val Kilmer and
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas, yeah. When I was 16 years old. That summer that movie came out. That and Species and Mission Impossible, I think all came out the same year. Um, but good stuff. Go check out not The Beast, just Beast. There's no the. I kept saying the. It's just Beast. Don't have it confused with a movie about like an undersea creature based on a science fiction writer's novel.
No, it's
Find both
Beast.
films.
Comes out August 19th, this Friday. I say go see it. And honestly, I think it's gonna be the box office winner this weekend.
I think it's going to be the box office winner. It doesn't look like it cost a lot to make. It looks like they shot, like all outside and everything was like there for them. Hopefully they didn't have to build much. They probably paid, Idris whatever he gets, and then just worked out a lot of CGI. So hopefully it didn't cost them an arm and a leg to make this movie. If someone tells you this movie cost $100 million to make, I'm going to be like, where was the money? This movie should not have cost more than to pay Shiloh and Idra what they're worth. So everyone else is basically like, you want to be an extra? And here's a pretend gun, be a poacher. And then, whoever the girls are, I'm sure maybe we'll see them one day in another thing and they'll become big actresses. Right now, I don't really know too much about them. So, but go see Beast.
Yeah, they've both been in different things. And Sharlto Copley, I mean, he's from Africa. So
yeah,
this is great. I can't wait to see Leah Jeffries and Iana Holly in more things because I thought they were fantastic. Every they were in. They just killed it. But yeah, give Idris and Charlton their own series because they are the buddy cop film. I mean, if you're going to remake Lethal Weapon, those two would be amazing
that would be
for the
great.
recasting.
Well,
of that.
they're not remaking Lethal Weapon, right? They're doing a 5th film.
Well, if they do end up
Yeah.
redoing it,
Yeah,
I mean, they still
yeah. Give these guys
kind
a
of
few
have
more years.
few
Give
years.
them like another 10 years and put them in their like 50s and 60s, and then they'll do the remake of like with the old timers like the way Lethal Weapon is. But like, subscribe, and comment. Check out the rest of the reviews here on the Radio Horror YouTube channel. We just did Bodies, 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 and Prey. So, and we'll be doing The Invitation very, very, very soon. So check that out as well, plus a couple other surprise hits. But The Invitation should definitely be the next thing that we do. And also check out Katie's Facebook page and the Radio Horror Facebook page too.
And Instagram.